Now, elements of what we've been studying have mentioned this, but we've never explicitly focused on it. What the Nazis did to terrorize people. When I mean terrorize, I mean scare. How did the Nazis scare the people of Germany into doing what the Nazis wanted? And the best way to describe it is that Germany operated as a police state. What I mean by that is that the government or the police of Germany was actively and always watching the population, very heavily policing, controlling their actions so that anyone who opposed the Nazis was instantly punished or taken away. The people of Germany really knew what would happen to them if they didn't do as they were told. And that fear meant that they were doing Nazi-like things. They were pressured into it. One of the best methods of this is through a thing called a secret police. What I mean by this is that the police forces nowadays, if you think of the police, I'm going to say are ultra visible. They wear high-vis jackets. They are in a high-vis car. They flash lights. They wear a particular brand of hat. They are so obvious to you that you know when the police are around all the time. And that gives you a certain feeling, doesn't it? It's like, oh, the police are here. And you kind of watch yourself. You check your behaviour. You make sure you don't commit a crime in front of a police officer. A secret police is one that doesn't dress up. They work for the police. They are watching for crimes, but you are not aware that they are a police officer, so you don't know if they are. And a student of mine said something fantastic. They make you feel paranoid. You think everyone could be a member of this police force. And we know the Nazis now, they can make any law they like, so many things that are very normal, like thinking the wrong thing, saying the wrong thing, were deemed crimes according to the Nazi German police. Now, the Nazi German police, or the secret police at least, was called the Gestapo. The Gestapo had a number of powers, but I like to think of them as a spy force. They are a network of spies and informants who regularly report what they see and hear back to the Nazi government and police, particularly to a group called the SS. They had the power to tap telephone lines. They could listen in on phone conversations. They were secret, so if they heard someone say something slightly anti-Nazi, or they heard someone mention it, or they heard a joke, they could report that and that person could be arrested. And even they would be placed in certain places of work. Someone in almost every business, school, government, anything, any office, if you can imagine, one person would actively being paid by the Gestapo as an informant. If that workplace didn't follow what the Nazis wanted, the Nazis would automatically hear about it. People were pressured into this because what do you think the punishment would be if they didn't? And everyone knew the punishment, which was concentration camps. You are aware of what concentration camps are. They've been subtly mentioned to throughout this course, but concentration camp literally means an area of extremely poor prison sentencing. As in, nowadays, a prison is a place that someone's supposed to live for years. It's meant to be at least sanitary, somewhere you can live comfortably. A concentration camp's the opposite of that. Poor treatment, overwork, poor sanitary conditions, and poor, well, nourishment conditions. You are very likely to die from a concentration camp, and very many people knew it existed and knew it was the punishment, so they knew what was going to happen if they said or did the wrong thing. All of these elements of pressure and not knowing who it could be were one thing, but there was also the explicit terror of who could get you. There was the SS, who were basically like an upper police force, but they had the ability to arrest anyone without a single reason. Again, enabling act. It's so powerful, isn't it? That they could literally arrest you if you saw them. You'd be aware of the SS. But also the courts of Germany were controlled by judges who were approved by the Nazi party. So it was not a fair trial in Nazi Germany. If you had committed a crime, or if you had been accused of committing a crime and people wanted rid of you, the judge would probably side with the Nazis over you. It would not be fair. None of this is fair. And this is why you're learning about it, because a government with too much power can do this. So you need to remember some key tenets, okay? Because there's some stuff I've not mentioned that you need to look up in page 76 and 7. But here we go. The questions you need to know, the answer to revise this is, what is a police state and how does it control a population? How did concentration camps control people? How did the Gestapo control people? And how did police and courts control people? If you know the answers to those, you've revised this section. All right, good luck, and I'll see you later.